Sister Wives. Meri Brown reveals what she wants in a man while entering the speed dating scene. Hello friends, welcome to the Daily Gossip News Update. I'm Olivia and I hope you're well by God's grace. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Meri Brown has spent over a decade living under the shadow of Kody Brown and the unconventional polygamous lifestyle showcased on Sister Wives. For years, she was the dutiful first wife, the one who helped set the foundation of a family that would eventually sprawl into 4 households, 18 children, and endless drama. But now, after heartbreak, loneliness, and years of emotional neglect, Meri is making a bold move that fans never expected. She is stepping into the speed dating scene. This isn't just about looking for a man, it's about Meri reclaiming her identity, discovering what she truly wants in a partner, and proving that she deserves love, respect, and happiness outside of Kody's dominance. The end of an era with Kody. For Meri, her relationship with Kody ended long before their official split. Viewers have seen the cold interactions, the rejection, and the lack of intimacy. Kody himself admitted he no longer saw Meri as a romantic partner, reducing her role in his life to that of a friend or business associate. That revelation shattered Meri, but it also freed her. No longer tied down to a man who dismissed her needs, Meri has finally found the courage to look forward. And what better way to make a splash than diving headfirst into speed dating, a fast-paced, thrilling, and sometimes nerve-wracking way to meet potential partners? Why speed dating? Many fans wondered why Meri, who could easily turn to online dating or take a more traditional approach, would choose something as unconventional as speed dating. But the answer lies in Meri's personality and her hunger for real connection. Meri has always thrived on community, conversation, and the ability to read people face to face. Speed dating offers her exactly that. Multiple conversations in one night, the chance to laugh, connect, and instantly know whether someone sparks interest. After years of feeling invisible in her marriage, Meri is done wasting time. She doesn't want to spend months messaging strangers online. She wants to see a man's eyes, hear his voice, and gauge his energy in real time. It's a bold choice, but it reflects her newfound independence and her readiness to take risks in love. Meri's wish list in a man. So, what is Meri looking for in her next partner? Through enduring decades of neglect, criticism, and emotional distance from Kody, her standards have shifted dramatically. In interviews and candid conversations, Meri has revealed the qualities she values most. Respect. Meri wants a man who values her as an equal, someone who doesn't dismiss her voice or treat her as an afterthought. Loyalty. Having watched Kody's affections shift entirely to Robyn, Meri craves a man who won't abandon her emotionally. Romance and intimacy. For years, Meri lived in a sexless, affectionless marriage. Now, she openly admits she wants passion and romance back in her life. Independence. She isn't looking for someone to control her. Instead, she wants a partner who supports her business ventures and personal growth. Sense of humor. After the tears and heartbreak, Meri is ready for laughter. She wants someone who can make her smile again. This wish list is striking because it shows how deeply her past experiences shaped her present desires. In many ways, Meri's ideal man is the complete opposite of Kody. From polygamy to monogamy. One of the biggest questions fans have is whether Meri, who spent most of her adult life in a plural marriage, is ready for monogamy. The answer appears to be a resounding yes. Meri has openly shared that she's no longer interested in competing for affection or navigating the chaos of multiple wives. She wants a man who is fully committed to her, and only her. For Meri, speed dating isn't just about finding love, it's about rewriting her story. It's about stepping away from a culture that once defined her and toward a new vision of what her future could be. The emotional weight behind her decision. While the cameras may show Meri confidently walking into a speed dating event, the truth is that this journey comes with emotional baggage. Years of rejection from Kody left scars that can't be erased overnight. Meri has admitted that she sometimes questions whether she is enough for a man. Through all, being publicly humiliated on national television takes a toll. But instead of letting that fear paralyze her, she's choosing to face it head-on. By entering the speed dating world, Meri is essentially telling herself and the world that she is worthy of love no matter what Kody made her believe. A shock to the family. Of course, Meri's decision doesn't just affect her. The rest of the Brown family has been buzzing with reactions. Christine and Janelle, who have also broken free from Kody, are reportedly supportive and even excited for Meri. Christine, now happily married to David Woolley, has been encouraging Meri to take risks and not settle for less than she deserves. Robyn, however, has allegedly been less enthusiastic. Sources close to the family suggest that Robyn sees Meri's move as a publicity stunt designed to overshadow her ongoing marriage to Kody. Whether that's true or not, it's clear that Meri's dating life is already stirring up drama. And then there's Kody. While he hasn't made an official statement, insiders claim that he's annoyed by Meri's public dating ventures. In his eyes, it's yet another example of the ex-wives stealing the spotlight from him and the original family vision. The fan response. Fans, however, couldn't be more thrilled. Social media exploded with support after word spread about Meri's speed dating debut. Many viewers who once pitted her now see her as an inspiration, proof that it's never too late to start over. Some fans even joked about volunteering to sign up for the same speed dating event just for a chance to meet her. The overwhelming consensus is that Meri deserves happiness, and viewers are rooting for her to find a man who treats her the way she's always deserved. When Meri Brown confessed on Sister Wives that she was officially ready to date, and even stepping into the speed dating scene, it was not just a revelation about her personal life, it was a cultural earthquake for the entire Brown family. For years, viewers had seen Meri trapped in the shadows of her failed relationship with Kody Brown, who often dismissed her presence and reduced her role to little more than a family friend. But this time, the script was different. This time, it was Meri calling the shots. And the ripple effects were immediate. Christine Brown. Good for her. Christine, who famously left Kody in 2021 and went on to marry David Woolley, has consistently championed women finding independence and joy outside the toxic framework of Kody's control. Upon hearing about Meri's speed dating plans, Christine allegedly gave a spirited reaction. She deserves this. She deserves someone who sees her, hears her, and values her, Christine reportedly told close friends. For Christine, Meri's decision wasn't shocking, it was inspiring. After all, Christine herself had reinvented her life, remarried, and was now showcasing a love story that seemed almost like a fairy tale compared to the wreckage of her polygamous past. Christine also pointed out something subtle. Speed dating is fast, bold, and requires courage. In her view, this proved that Meri wasn't just looking for companionship, she was taking control in a way that many never expected from her. Janelle Brown. I just want her happy. Janelle, the pragmatic and thoughtful ex-wife of Kody, had a quieter but equally supportive take. While Janelle has focused more on financial independence and rebuilding her life after leaving Kody, she has often been vocal about her support for the other wives' happiness. She's been through enough, Janelle allegedly said. If this is what makes her happy, then I say go for it. We don't need to keep living in the shadow of the past. Janelle's response was practical, true to her nature, but it underscored a deeper theme. For years, Janelle and Meri had a strained relationship, sometimes distant, sometimes frosty. But as their lives evolved, they found themselves drawn closer, united by the shared experience of surviving Kody's neglect. Now, Janelle's words echoed solidarity, a wish for Meri to finally experience the peace she'd been denied for so long. Robyn Brown, awkward silence. Christine and Janelle were enthusiastic cheerleaders. Robyn's reaction told a different story. Robyn, Kody's remaining legal wife, was reportedly caught off guard by Meri's announcement. She was polite about it, but you could see the tension, one source close to the family claimed. Robyn always wanted to maintain this image of family unity, even though she knows the family has splintered. Meri dating is another reminder that Kody is not the center of their world anymore. Robyn's position was delicate. Publicly, she may express support for Meri's choices, but privately, insiders claim she worries about what this means for her own narrative. For years, Robyn has been seen as Kody's favorite, the last wife standing, and the one who supposedly won. But Meri stepping out confidently, pursuing love without Kody, shifts the balance. It exposes the truth that perhaps being with Kody isn't the grand prize Robyn always wanted it to seem. Kody Brown stung pride. And then there was Kody. When asked about Meri's foray into the speed dating world, Kody's reaction was as predictable as it was petty. Sources say he struggled to maintain his composure, attempting to frame himself as supportive, but his tone revealed an undercurrent of irritation. Kody has this way of making it about himself, one insider explained. Even when Meri's finally moving on, he takes it as some kind of personal attack, like she's trying to prove a point against him. Indeed, Kody allegedly said, "If Meri thinks she can find someone better than me, then good luck to her." The words dripped with sarcasm, but they also hinted at a bruised ego. For years, Kody was the center of multiple women's lives. Now, one by one, they've left him behind. Fans erupt online. Side of the family bubble, fans of sister wives were ecstatic. Social media lit up with hashtags like #TeamMeri and #MeriDeservesLove, as viewers praised her bravery. Many pointed out how heartbreaking it had been to watch her year after year, trying to gain Kody's affection, only to be constantly rejected. "She looks so free now," one fan tweeted. "Finally, she's realizing her worth." Another posted, "I never thought I'd say this, but I'm proud of Meri. She was always so quiet, so sidelined. Seeing her in a speed dating room is the plot twist we needed." The fan base wasn't just supportive, they were deeply invested. Memes popped up imagining Meri's potential dates, from Hollywood celebrities to everyday men who would treat her better than Kody ever did. Others speculated on whether TLC would feature her new dating life more heavily in upcoming episodes. Collective shift. What made these reactions remarkable was the collective shift they represented. For years, Meri was cast as the sad wife, the one who lingered in Kody's shadow, unwilling or unable to break free. Now she was suddenly the bold one, stepping into a future no longer defined by her polygamist past. In the eyes of her family, fans, and even critics, Meri had become something unexpected, a woman willing to fight for her own happiness. The night of speed dating ended with more than just a stack of contact cards and polite goodbyes. For Meri Brown, it ended with a quiet sense of triumph. She had walked into that room trembling with nerves, and she walked out smiling, her heart light in a way it hadn't been in years. The drive home. As she drove home under the soft glow of streetlights, Meri replayed the night's conversations in her mind. Some were funny, some awkward, some instantly forgettable. But a few stood out, especially the man who looked her in the eye and asked what she wanted from life, not what she'd endured. That question lingered. For decades, Meri's wants had been secondary to Kody's needs, to the family's drama, to the expectations of a plural marriage. But now, as she sipped her late-night tea at home, she allowed herself to dream of what a relationship built on her terms might look like. Writing it down. The next morning, Meri did something symbolic. She pulled out a notebook and wrote a list titled, "What I Deserve in Love." A man who chooses me every day. Someone who laughs with me, not at me. A partner who doesn't make me beg for affection. Loyalty, honesty, and romance. A love that feels safe but also exciting. For Meri, putting it in writing was like setting an intention. She wasn't going to wander aimlessly through the dating world. She was going to demand what she deserved. The family's reactions. News of Meri's speed dating adventure didn't stay private for long. Within days, gossip blogs and fan pages were buzzing, and the Brown family members were fielding questions. Christine Brown, ever the supportive cheerleader, posted a cryptic but clearly pointed message on Instagram: "When one door closes, another opens. Don't be afraid to walk through." Fans immediately connected it to Meri. Janelle Brown reportedly told friends she was proud of Meri for stepping out of her comfort zone. Though Janelle has always been more private, those who know her say she understands Meri's need for companionship after so many lonely years. Robyn Brown, however, allegedly rolled her eyes when asked about it. She thinks Meri is trying to get attention, a source close to the family revealed. Robyn believes that if Meri really wanted love, she'd go about it quietly. Kody Brown? True to form, he downplayed it. Meri can do whatever she wants, he reportedly said, but insiders claim he privately feels humiliated. He hates that the ex-wives keep finding happiness while he feels stuck. Fan reactions. If the family's responses were mixed, fans' reactions were crystal clear, overwhelming support. Social media lit up with praise. One fan wrote on Twitter, "Meri Brown out here speed dating at 52. Con. She's living proof it's never too late." Another added, "Kody rejected her, but look at her now. She's glowing. Go, Meri." Facebook fan groups dedicated to sister wives even started playful threads imagining what kind of man would be Meri's perfect match. A cowboy, a businessman, a teacher, maybe even a fellow reality star. Consensus? Anyone but Kody. Did she find a spark? The question everyone wanted answered. Did Meri actually connect with someone? While Meri remained coy, insiders hinted that she exchanged numbers with at least 2 men, including the thoughtful one who seemed unfazed by her TV past. "She's not rushing into anything," a source explained. "But she's excited. It's been a long time since she's felt this hopeful." Meri herself teased fans by posting a selfie the day after the event with the caption, "Smiling a little brighter these days." Beyond romance. For Meri, the night wasn't just about possibly meeting a new partner. It was about rewriting her identity. She was no longer simply Kody's first wife or the woman who endured public rejection. She was a single woman in her 50s, exploring, laughing, and daring to live boldly. In many ways, her foray into speed dating symbolized the larger journey of the Brown family's women. Christine finding joy with David, Janelle standing strong on her own, and now Meri daring to put herself back on the market. Kody's growing isolation. Ironically, as Meri's world seemed to expand, Kody's appeared to shrink. With Christine remarried, Janelle estranged, and Meri speed dating, the man who once boasted of being the patriarch of a vast family was now clinging to Robyn and a fraction of his children's loyalty. Insiders whispered that Kody felt betrayed by how quickly his wives moved on. But fans saw it differently. Karma. Through years of dismissing, belittling, and neglecting the women who once stood by him, the tables had turned. Meri's night out wasn't just a personal victory, it was a public reminder that life after Kody could be bright, exciting, and full of possibilities. Looking ahead. As Meri tucked away her notebook and prepared for the next chapter, she wasn't making promises she couldn't keep. She wasn't rushing into marriage or flaunting a new boyfriend. Instead, she was savoring the feeling of hope, of possibility, of finally being open to love again. Whether or not she found the one that night, Meri found something even more important, herself. Meri Brown's bold leap into the speed dating scene isn't just about one night, it's about the start of something bigger. After decades of standing quietly in the background while Kody's attention shifted to Robyn, Meri's decision to explore love on her own terms signals the possibility of a brand new chapter in her personal story. But fans can't help but wonder, what comes next? Will Meri find a lasting love? Will this journey bring more family tension? And how might TLC turn this storyline into the next dramatic arc for Sister Wives Season 19? Possibility of a new love interest. If Meri's spark with one of the speed dating attendees blossoms, it could lead to the most jaw-dropping twist in the Sister Wives franchise. Meri, once the loneliest wife, finally being the first ex-wife to re-enter a committed romantic relationship. Christine set the precedent by marrying David Woolley, but Christine was already thriving socially and emotionally before David. Meri's path has been lonelier, her heart bruised by years of neglect. For her, stepping out into love again carries extra weight. Fans speculate Meri might be drawn to a man who represents stability, warmth, and loyalty, qualities that Kody never consistently gave her. A man who makes her laugh, supports her entrepreneurial ventures, and truly listens could sweep her off her feet. Younger or older? An intriguing question has emerged online. Will Meri date someone younger or older? A younger man could bring excitement and energy, reminding Meri that she's still vibrant and desirable. Viewers have joked that Meri deserves her own David Woolley figure, someone younger, adventurous, and smitten with her. An older man might bring maturity and the emotional steadiness she craves. After the chaos of polygamy, Meri may prefer someone established, patient, and grounded. Either way, fans agree on one point. Whoever wins Meri's heart must treat her with the respect and loyalty she has long deserved. Kody factor. Of course, any new romance for Meri will inevitably raise one thorny issue: Kody's reaction. Though he often dismissed Meri as little more than a friend, Kody has historically bristled when his ex-wives move on. Christine's marriage to David Woolley left him fuming and insecure. If Meri finds happiness, it could further wound his fragile ego. Imagine the tension if Meri introduces a new partner on Sister Wives. Viewers could expect explosive interviews with Kody railing about loyalty and betrayal, while fans gleefully point out the hypocrisy. Robyn's likely reaction. Robyn Brown, still firmly by Kody's side, would likely view Meri's new romance through a complicated lens. On one hand, she might be relieved that Meri is no longer hovering around Kody, lingering on the edges of their marriage. On the other hand, she might resent Meri reclaiming attention and public sympathy. If Meri thrives in a new relationship, Robyn may find herself in the unenviable position of defending Kody's bitterness while watching the ex-wives flourish without him. TLC's golden opportunity. From a television standpoint, Meri's dating adventures are pure gold. The network knows fans are tired of Kody's rants and Robyn's tears. What they want is growth, drama, and fresh beginnings. A storyline following Meri's speed dating, her reflections, and even her first dates with a potential new love would inject life into Sister Wives. Could even pave the way for a spin-off, Meri's second act. Producers may already be encouraging Meri to keep her fans updated on social media, teasing the possibility of a romance reveal in the next season's tell-all. The emotional journey ahead. Dating after decades of rejection is no small feat. Meri may still struggle with insecurities, wondering if she's desirable, worrying about trust, or second-guessing whether a man's intentions are genuine. Therapists often say that individuals leaving long, toxic relationships need time to rebuild their sense of worth. For Meri, this journey will involve more than meeting the right person. It will involve believing she deserves the right person. Fans, however, are confident she can rise to the challenge. As one commenter wrote, Meri survived Kody. She can survive anything. A potential rivalry storyline. Another juicy speculation? What if Meri's new romance introduces drama between her and Christine? While the two have bonded over their freedom from Kody, a subtle rivalry could emerge if both women find themselves in happy, secure relationships while the rest of the family flounders. Viewers might wonder, who has the better new man? Who seems happier? Though Christine and Meri have been supportive of each other recently, reality TV thrives on tension, and TLC won't miss the chance to fan the flames. Meri's future in business and love. Beyond romance, Meri's independence could tie neatly into her business ventures. Running Lizzie's Heritage Inn has been a cornerstone of her post-Kody identity, and fans speculate she might one day bring a new partner into that chapter of her life. Imagine Meri hosting romantic getaways or couple retreats at the inn, promoting the message that love is always worth pursuing. A supportive partner could amplify her confidence, helping her balance personal growth, professional success, and a public image that's no longer tied to being the rejected wife. The symbolism of her journey. Ultimately, Meri's step into speed dating represents something larger than just one night of introductions. It symbolizes every woman who has felt invisible, every person who has been discarded, and every heart that has dared to hope again after rejection. For years, Meri was the face of quiet endurance, smiling politely while her husband flaunted affection for another wife. Now she's becoming the face of resilience and rebirth. Her journey sends a powerful message. It's never too late to demand more, to seek joy, and to believe in love again. For most people, speed dating is a quirky social experiment, an evening filled with awkward laughs, hurried introductions, and hopeful smiles. But for Meri Brown, it was more than that. This was her moment to reclaim her confidence, to prove not just to the world but to herself that she could step into a room full of strangers and dare to look for love again. The room. The event took place in a trendy, softly lit lounge in downtown Salt Lake City. Tables were arranged in a neat circle, candles flickered, and upbeat music floated through the air. The host, a cheerful woman in her 30s, gave instructions to the group. Each conversation would last 5 minutes, then the men would rotate to the next table. Meri, dressed elegantly in a navy blue blouse and a statement necklace, exuded confidence, but only on the surface. Inside, her heart was pounding. She hadn't been on a real date in decades, let alone in a situation where she would need to introduce herself repeatedly in a short span of time. But this was exactly why she chose speed dating. It was bold, fast, and gave no room for overthinking. Her first conversation. The first man to sit across from her was a tall, middle-aged businessman with salt and pepper hair. He introduced himself warmly, complimented her smile, and asked what brought her to speed dating. Meri, true to her new vow of honesty, didn't hide behind vague answers. She said, "I've been through a lot. I was in a plural marriage for many years, and now I'm finally ready to find someone who sees me, just me, for who I am." The man blinked in surprise but quickly nodded, saying he admired her openness. That moment set the tone for the night. Meri wasn't going to sugarcoat her past, and she wasn't going to apologize for it either. Nervous laughter and warm smiles. As the evening went on, Meri spoke with a dozen men. Some were funny, some were shy, and some clearly didn't know what to say when she mentioned her past on reality TV. A few joked about having seen sister wives before, which made Meri laugh but also reminded her of the baggage she carried into this new chapter. Still, Meri was determined to stay light-hearted. She laughed easily, teased when the conversations became too serious, and leaned into the humor of the situation. At one point, she told a man, "I've survived 30 years of polygamy. 5 minutes with you is easy." The table erupted in laughter, drawing curious glances from nearby participants. The wish list in action. Throughout the night, Meri quietly tested her wish list. When a man dismissed his ex-wife harshly, she mentally crossed him off. Respect mattered. When another man joked about having multiple girlfriends, she smiled politely but knew he wasn't the one. Loyalty was non-negotiable. But there were also moments of genuine connection. One man, a retired firefighter, spoke passionately about family and community service. Another, a teacher, admitted he'd always admired strong women who reinvent themselves after hardships. These conversations sparked something in Meri, a realization that there were men out there who valued exactly what she brought to the table. Behind the confidence. Even with all the smiles and laughs, Meri couldn't ignore the voice in her head whispering doubts. What if no one really wants me? What if they only see the woman who was rejected? Years of Kody's dismissal weren't easy to shake off. But every time those thoughts crept in, she forced herself to look across the table and engage. With each new introduction, she reminded herself that this was about more than finding a man, it was about proving she could take chances again. Support from afar. Though Meri attended the event alone, she wasn't without support. Christine had texted her earlier in the day, "Be yourself. Don't settle. And remember, if anyone doesn't see your worth, that's their loss." Janelle, too, sent a sweet message, "You've got this. Have fun. You deserve happiness, Meri." Even some of Meri's loyal fans had been cheering her on via social media, urging her to take the leap. Their encouragement echoed in her mind as she smiled at strangers and dared to flirt again. Kody's shadow. Of course, there was an unspoken tension lingering in the background. Kody. Though he wasn't physically in the room, his shadow loomed large. Meri knew that no matter what she did, people would ask, what would Kody think? Insiders later revealed that Kody was less than thrilled about the news. "He thinks it's embarrassing," one source claimed. "He still wants to control the narrative of the family, and Meri stepping out like this threatens that." But Meri didn't let that stop her. For once, she wasn't living for Kody's approval or anyone else's. A spark of hope. Toward the end of the night, something unexpected happened. As the event was winding down, Meri found herself in conversation with a man who seemed genuinely intrigued by her story. Instead of shying away from her reality TV past, he asked thoughtful questions. What did you learn from that experience? What do you want your life to look like now? Meri felt seen. For the first time in a long time, she wasn't just Kody's ex-wife or the first wife of a polygamist family. She was Meri, an independent woman with dreams, scars, and hopes for the future. Clock buzzed, signaling the end of their 5 minutes, but the connection lingered. The man smiled and said softly, "I'd like to continue this conversation outside of here." On the surface, Meri Brown's decision to enter the speed dating scene seemed like a light-hearted, empowering move, a way to shake off the shadows of her past and step boldly into her future. Yet, anyone who has followed her journey on Sister Wives knows that there is always more happening beneath the surface. Behind the carefully curated smiles, the stylish blouses, and the confident walk into that Salt Lake City venue, there were layers of grief, loneliness, and unspoken wounds that still shaped her choices. The weight of Garrison's passing. The entire Brown family was shattered by the tragic passing of Garrison Brown, Janelle's son, earlier this year. For Meri, who had known him since birth, the loss struck deeper than she initially admitted. Though she wasn't his biological mother, Meri had been part of Garrison's life since childhood, sharing family dinners, birthdays, and milestones. His death became a brutal reminder of how fragile life is and how quickly everything can change. Friends close to Meri said that the tragedy pushed her to reevaluate her priorities. She realized she couldn't keep waiting, one insider revealed. Life is short, and if she wanted to experience love again, she had to go out and find it. Sitting in Flagstaff, waiting for something to fall into her lap, wasn't an option anymore. In many ways, Garrison's loss became the emotional push Meri needed to finally take a leap into dating, no matter how frightening it felt. The loneliness of a ghost marriage. For nearly a decade, Meri lived in what she herself called a spiritual marriage to Kody. They were legally divorced in 2014 so he could marry Robyn and adopt her children, but even before the paperwork, their relationship had been unraveling. By the later seasons of Sister Wives, Kody openly admitted he had no romantic interest in Meri, and she in turn described their relationship as dead. Living in that limbo was perhaps more painful than a clean break. Night after night, Meri sat alone in her home, excluded from the affection Kody lavished on Robyn, but still tethered to the family structure. She wasn't free, but she wasn't loved either. That kind of loneliness leaves scars. Even as Meri stepped into the speed dating event, she carried the echoes of those years. The constant second-guessing, the gnawing fear of rejection, the haunting question, "Am I enough?" A woman learning to trust again. Trust is not something Meri gives easily. After all, she was once catfished in a painful online relationship scandal that left her heartbroken and humiliated. The experience made her wary, even cynical about romance. But time, therapy, and her own resilience have slowly begun to heal those wounds. Friends say that while Meri is cautious, she isn't closed off. "She knows what she wants now," one confidant explained. "And she knows the warning signs. She's stronger than she used to be. That strength is part of why she feels ready." Entering the speed dating world wasn't just about finding someone, it was about proving to herself that she could step into a vulnerable space without falling apart. Balancing family and self. Another factor weighing heavily on Meri's heart is family. Despite the fractures, she still feels tied to the Browns in complicated ways. She wants to respect her son Leon, her ex-sister wives, and even Kody in some form. Question of how they would view her dating life often lingers in the back of her mind. Christine cheered her on. Janelle supported her. But Robyn and Kody? Their opinions, whether she likes it or not, still echo in her subconscious. Dating for Meri isn't just about what she wants, it's also about how her choices ripple through the family dynamic, and whether she is finally ready to stop prioritizing everyone else over herself. Quiet ache of years wasted. Behind Meri's smile is also grief for the years she lost. 30 years invested in a man who ultimately cast her aside. Decades of energy poured into building a family that fractured before her eyes. That history cannot be erased with one night of speed dating. It lingers in every pause, every careful laugh, every guarded glance across the table at a new man. But here's the twist. Instead of being crushed by that ache, Meri is learning to transform it. She carries her past like battle scars, reminders not of weakness but of survival. Moving forward with eyes wide open. Unlike Christine, who dove into love with David Woolley with a kind of fairy tale optimism, Meri is not walking into this next chapter wearing rose-colored glasses. She knows love is hard. She knows heartbreak is possible. She knows the past will always whisper in her ear. But she is still choosing to try. That choice, despite Garrison's death, despite the ghost marriage, despite the betrayals, is what makes Meri's journey so compelling. She is a woman walking forward with eyes wide open, no longer defined by her failures but shaped by them. And in a way that makes her stronger than ever before.